Imagine surviving a sexual assault and then hearing that the assaulter walked away free. Now, just imagine a government saying, no, we will not let that happen. That's what exactly happened in Italy yesterday. Italy's PM announced chemical castration of all the rapists and pedophiles. Now we go back for a second. What are chemical castrations? Chemical castrations is not inhuman to the level one might assume it to be. Chemical castration is reducing a person's testosterone biologically. The person doesn't get harmed through it physically a lot, I believe. Like, instead of assuming or instead of making a law of making the punishments much more heinous, like being an arm being cut off or you being physically tortured, chemical castrations are much more long lasting. These are the steps that have been taken to prevent repetitive offenses. Now, what the argument is, some people are celebrating this as a powerful move, as a person who are finally taking sides of the survivors, of the victims, that they are taking a strong stand. The government is finally taking a strong stand towards rapists. They won't be able to walk free. They will pay for their crimes. There are still some people, there are critics that are criticizing this move as inhuman. See, I understand that we as humans take rapes and pedophiles, but emotionally, and there is a practical angle to it, which is why countries make it as a law that be a person guilty or not, they would be represented in the court, they would be defended in a court. When the entire country knows that a person is the offender, then even then they would be defended in the court, no matter the no matter the assault, no matter whether they are proven guilty or not. But the entire discussion about this being inhuman is, I don't stand by that point, because see, if a person is not punished based on their offense, a other people will not be terrified enough or would not have that mindset that okay, we will be punished, we should not do this crime, or before doing their crime before doing the crime they should take a step back and realize that what the consequences could be. And secondly, if a punishment is not dire enough, they won't stop from doing it in the second time, because they know what the procedure is. They got away with it the first time, they would get away with it again. What's the big deal? A few months in the court, what difference does it make? They will just like that jump back to their original schedule. I have seen many offenders who have walked away completely free. They are living their lives, they are married, they are having a family like a usual person can. And maybe they have some guilt inside them, which they might feel here and there, but they are walking away free. Think about the person who had to go through all of that and then have to survive to see that the person that did that to them is living a normal life. How would that person feel? If we are walking in the shoes of the person who has done the offense, if we are walking in the shoes of the offender, yes, it might sound a bit heinous or a bit inhuman. But if you walk in the shoes of the person who survived that, the victim, the survivor, then it doesn't seem that inhuman, because a person should be terrified of raping another person, of raping a child. A person should be terrified of that. It's not about being emotional or practical or humanity rights or not. And honestly, yes, this debate hits differently in different countries like India, where every few months we hear a shocking, terrifying case that just shakes the entire nation. Candle marches happen, protests take place, hashtag trends. But then, years take place. Years happen where the case is just going on and on in the court. Some get bail, some get free, but the victim is left with that trauma for their life. Maybe that frustration, that is why the population, the public completely celebrates when a country takes such decisions. They don't think for a second that it can be inhuman or against human laws, because they've seen such lack of justice in the country. Because many people believe that the traditional punishment is not working anymore, it is not stopping offenders from repeating their offense. And maybe the public is done. The public is done thinking that we should take the high road. The offenders should be treated as humans too. Why should they? What was the fault of that child? What was the fault of any other person who was just molested on the streets or raped in a street? Not every time it is the fault of what a woman was wearing or why she was out at certain times. It doesn't matter, right? When a person is wearing a hijab, or if it is an 80 plus year old lady, what arguments do you have then? For everybody who thinks that whenever a girl is raped, it is because of what she was wearing or at what time she was out. Sometimes it is the fault of the offenders, and it is high time that they get to pay for their actions. And maybe when the law is served right, maybe then the public might pause for a second and think what the offender has to go through. But for now, the victims, the survivors, have waited for their justice far too long and has not been served. So for now, the offenders have to be punished right.